Let's talk about where DJs should be advertising in 2021. What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. So I want to talk about this topic because I think we are on the brink as an industry of a big comeback, right? We had the worst year ever last year with the pandemic and everything, and 2021 is looking more bright, just looking a little better. The vaccines are coming out, things are happening, places are slowly opening back up, and I predict by summertime, things should be mostly normal, we're gonna be back to work mostly, and by the end of the year, life's gonna be grand. So I thought it was super appropriate to talk about advertising and give you guys some tips on where you should be putting your money or where you should just be putting your content. That way, you're gonna set yourself up for a really big year. So after a lot of thinking, I compiled 4 different things you should be focusing on as far as advertisement when it comes to your business. So for number 1, I wanna talk about wedding websites, particularly Wedding Wire and The Knot, the monopoly. Now, I say monopoly because if you're not aware, The Knot bought Wedding Wire a couple of years ago, and now they're just like, they're it. I mean, I don't know anybody who's competing with them. It's pretty much a monopoly at this point. And I appreciate both websites. I think they help our industry a lot. And they're definitely a great place to consider for like advertising your DJ businesses, but hear me out. There's definitely caveats to this. So I talked to a lot of DJs within our industry, and I hear a lot of mixed feelings with the Wedding Wire and The Knot. Some people say it's great. They get a ton of couples, they book a lot of weddings and whatnot. And others say it's not so great. And you got to keep in mind that, part of that, if you're not getting good results on a website like Wedding Wire or The Knot, maybe it's your pictures, maybe it's your description, maybe it's like how you set up your little profile on there. That could be part of it. But there definitely are some areas that I've noticed where DJs aren't getting the pool that they should have for especially the amount of money they're putting out to these websites. So my overall advice when it comes to Wedding Wire and The Knot is to definitely have a presence on there, definitely have a profile on each site that, outlines your company, has pictures, has everything. Set all that up, put the time into that. That is free. You need that. But when it comes to paying money to advertise on these websites, I think every single company should try it out. Just try it out. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, give it a shot and see if you're gonna get any return on your investment. Some of you might be pleasantly surprised and think it's worth it, right? Some of you may not think it's worth it. You don't know until you try in your market. It's weird, like in some markets, Wedding Wire is like dominant. Like every bride in that market usually uses Wedding Wire. Other markets, it's all The Knot. For example, in New Jersey, up in North Jersey, Wedding Wire is the thing. Most couples use Wedding Wire up in North Jersey, but down in South Jersey, almost no couples use Wedding Wire. It's all The Knot down here, you know what I mean? So it really depends on your market. So you gotta experiment, put your money into both sites, see which one gets you the most couples, and if it's worth it to you, keep it moving. If not, you tried it, back out, and that's it. But of course, always make sure you have a profile on both sites for reviews and all that good stuff, because it's one of those things that if a couple is interested in booking you and then they try and look you up on Wedding Wire or The Knot and you're not there, it's gonna be, not a good look. Because let's be honest, for the most part, the reason why a wedding DJ company wouldn't be on Wedding Wire or The Knot is because they were there, they got mad bad reviews, and they had to delete their shit, so. The second place where you should be advertising in 2020, and should have been advertising in anyway, is social media. Now this is an obvious one, I get it, but I just gotta drive the point home, okay? It is the end all, be all of everything on the internet. You have to be on social media, you have to have a presence, you have to put content out there regularly, you have to be there. You just have to, 100%. An overwhelming majority of every single person getting married will look you up on social media to see if you're there, just to see what you're like, to see what you post, to see what's going on there. An overwhelming majority, if not every single person, everybody stalks people out on Facebook and Instagram. Everybody. You ever do it? Of course you have. I have. We all do it. So as a result, you will be greatly judged by your presence, by what you look like on your Instagram page, on your Facebook, and or if you have a YouTube. You will be judged. So it goes without saying that you need to put some serious effort into social media if you're not already. It is everything. It is the most important thing on this list by far. And if you're not doing it by now, oh my God, start. If you need some tips on social media, I did make a video talking about Instagram and different tips with Instagram that could be super useful, so check that out. But before we get off this topic, let's talk about, the free advertising and the paid advertising on social media. Now, when I talk about free advertising, I'm talking about, your Facebook post, your Instagram post, all that. That's free, right? You build up a little following, you hashtag it right, things will pop up in searches. That's all free. It's all free, people. So, you can't beat it. So of course, everybody should be taking advantage of the free advertising opportunities on social media. But when it comes to the paid stuff, I recommend to do it if you know what you're doing. Like, do your research before you do it. If you want my opinion on it, paid advertisement on things like Facebook isn't really worth it because the majority of young people aren't on Facebook, or if they have a profile, they never check it, so you're basically advertising to their parents, and like, how much say do the parents really have when it comes to music? I mean, what do you think of your parents' music taste? So chances are the average parent isn't gonna be too convincing to the couple saying that, oh, you should have this DJ rocks. Like, they're probably gonna be like, does he? But when it comes to Instagram, that's where all the couples are. So I definitely recommend, trying out, dibber-dabbering a little bit of paid advertisement in there, but you gotta know what you're doing. And if I can give you any advice, it would be to research on what's working, right? What are other people advertising, other DJs, other wedding vendors, and what are they getting good return from, right? And also you have to post really good photos and videos and advertise those. If you're not good at shooting photos or video, hire someone. It'll be worth it. You can reuse it over and over again, but just hire someone to help you and get something professionally done, professionally shot. That way you look legit. The more legit you look, the more effective your advertising is gonna be. It's pretty simple. And if I were you, I would avoid advertising anything to do with price and anything with like words on it, any type of words on a post. Don't even do that. Now that I think about it, what's funny is if you do that on Instagram, if there's too many words, you won't get approved for the advertisement. Instagram will literally say, there's too many words. We're not gonna approve you. We're not even gonna take your money for this. You wanna know why? Because it doesn't work. The Instagram algorithms hate words on things. They hate that because it just looks advertising and nobody looks at it. Instagram is for pretty pictures and nice videos. That's what Instagram's for. So the fact that you can't even get an ad approved if there's too many words should tell you a little something about how you should be advertising, So for all you DJs that make up your little graphics, especially this time of year, like Valentine's Day is coming up, right? That say, just got engaged? Well, check out ABC Entertainment. Lowest prices in town. We'll pack your dance floor. Interactive DJs. Sequin jackets. I can almost guarantee that you're getting virtually no likes on those posts, and there's a reason for that. Post really good photos and videos, and then say what you gotta say in the description. Don't put it on the photo or video. All right, so we got 1 and 2 out of the way. Those are the more obvious ones. So those of you that kind of, stuck with me this long, thank you. Now you're gonna get to the real nuggets. I'm gonna reward you with the real nuggets. The third place that you should be advertising in 2021 is at venues. Most venues have a recommended vendor list, and some of them will put you on their list for free if you ask, or if you do a couple weddings and build a relationship with them and they see that you're legit and they like you, they'll put you on the list for free, and that's free advertisement and probably the best advertisement. Because think about it, after a couple gets engaged, what do they book first? Their venue. They set their date and they book their venue. You have to do that first. That's like the basis of everything, right? So if they book a venue and then they get a recommended list of vendors and you're on there, good shot they're gonna hit you up. Now, some venues charge you to be on their list, and I definitely think it's worth it if it's a venue you like working at. And overall, choosing the right venues to like build relationships with and like start like being recommended by, either by free or like paying for it, is a useful thing when it comes to funneling what kind of couples hit you up. If you're recommended by every fire hall in town, you're going to DJ a lot of fire hall weddings, which typically have lower budgets that pay less. If you're recommended by the nicest ballrooms in town, the most beautiful venues, the higher end places, you're gonna get a lot of couples hitting you up with bigger budgets that are expecting more. So by advertising at the right venues and going on the right list, you can really tailor what kind of couples, what kind of weddings you're gonna be doing. But I'll tell you right now up front, it's not that easy, okay? If you're trying to get into the higher end venues, you can't just walk in there and be like, hey, I DJ, here's my card, put me on the list, how much is it? That's not how that works. Like, you gotta work for it. The most high-end venues you'll never work at until they deem you worthy. Like, it's literally that much kind of politics. They won't allow any DJs but these DJs in certain venues. Like, you have to be on their list just to work there. And, you're probably asking yourself, well, how do I get on the list? Well, it goes back to tip number 2. Social media. Putting yourself out there, putting mixes out there, MC video, everything. Like putting what you do best out there and marketing yourself in a way where when you knock on this venue's door, when you go to these really expensive venues and you drop off your marketing material and like say, hey, what's up? Like, I'm a DJ in the area. I'd love to work here. I think it's a beautiful place. I respect what you guys do. They're gonna go on your social media. They're gonna go on your website. They're gonna look you up online. And if they don't like what they see, you're not getting in there. 100%. If they like what they see, maybe they'll add you to the list. Maybe they'll offer you a spot on the list for this much money. And then even once you're on the list, your marketing better be great, or else these high-end couples aren't gonna hit you up. Do you know what I mean? So really everything comes back to social media. If your social media sucks, then this whole venue idea isn't gonna work. So keep that in mind, people. I can't tell you how important social media is. It is unreal. Now we've come down to the fourth and final thing where I think you should be looking to advertise. And this is something that's kind of outside the box, and it's one of my goals this year that I kind of came up with and I've been working on behind the scenes. And that is the news. So I think there's a big opportunity for us to get free advertisement by getting on the news. And I have an idea how. Based on where you live, it could be easier or harder, right? If you live in a big metropolitan area, kind of like where I'm at, it's a little harder because, you know, there's a lot of people here, the news stations are bigger, and, you know, it's just kind of harder to get in touch with people. If you live in a smaller area and you have like a local news station, it might be a little easy. But this is my plan for this year. This is what I'm gonna be doing. A lot of news shows have morning segments and stuff where they bring in experts in the industry to talk about trends, to talk about different things, about all kinds of different topics. And there's always a person or persons at the news organization where you can hit up and say, hey, listen, I'm so-and-so, here's my credentials, and this is what I would love to talk about and I think your viewers would really like. And again, if you have a great social media presence and you crush it online, you're gonna have a way better shot at that person at the news looking you up, seeing what you do, thinking that you are an expert, like agreeing with you, and then maybe if it's an interesting enough topic, bring you on the news to talk about it. Hey, our wedding DJ expert so-and-so is here on the news. He's gonna talk about a new wedding trend that you're not gonna wanna miss. Coming up next after these few words. You know what I mean? This is something that nobody does. Nobody reaches out to them and even tries. And like, it might take you a few times. You might get on the news on the first time, but it's worth it. And you're not gonna get on the news unless you shoot your shot, unless you send that email to the right person. I'm literally sharing with you guys one of my little private goals this year. You know, this idea I had and I've been working on it behind the scenes, and I think it would be incredibly valuable if I can get on the news, if any of us can get on the news, because we're gonna be looked at as more of an expert. We could share the news segment, share clips of it, like, you know, of us actually on TV, on your Instagram, and that's just gonna legitimize your business. It's just gonna be a good look all around. This is great PR that is 100% free. It just takes the time and effort to hit these people up and have an interesting topic to actually talk about. And then once you're on there and they like you, they might call you back. Think about this. So I don't care what market you're in, you always have a news station. So hit up your local news station and make it happen, people. This is the type of shit you want to post on social media. And any DJs that are watching this that happen to be in my market in the Jersey area, I fucking thought of it first, all right? That's it, people. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you thought this video was incredibly useful. If you have any tips that you can give us, you know, that I didn't cover today, put it in the comments. Let the people know. And of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm on the road to 10,000 subs, people. That's my next goal. It really would mean a lot if you subscribed. I post a video all the time, but I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace out.